Welcome to the Focolare Word of Life podcast for July 2023. My name is Nick Chamferani and I'll be your host. The Word of Life is a phrase chosen from Scripture each month and shared around the world, and that we're all invited to live. The experiences that we're about to listen to in this episode relate to the Scripture phrase, "I promise you that whoever gives a cup of cold water to one of these lowly ones will not want for his reward," taken from Matthew chapter 10, verse 42. In today's episode, Steve Morris from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania shares about his experience in a pregnancy care center. 10-year-old Claire Crawford from Augusta, Georgia tells us about a challenging friendship at school. Chiara Lang from Houston, Texas shows us how she was a catalyst of unity at her workplace. This month's Word of Life gives us a hint at what it takes for us to gain our heavenly reward. A cup of water. How little we must do in order to gain favor with Jesus, yet so demanding in the way we offer it. That smile we give to the person we pass in the store. The compliment we give to someone we recognize who is doing a good job. All can be seen as that cup of water, if given from the heart. If we fill our day with simple acts of love, we'll see that we leave wherever we are better than when we arrived. This month, let's look for and keep track of the many ways we can give that cup of water to the neighbor that God puts before us every day. Welcome, Steve. It's great having you with us today.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Steve, you have an important experience to share with us. But before you do so, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Steve Morris. I'm a nurse from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've been a nurse for about 4 years, and I've worked in emergency and critical care nursing. And then for the last 2 years, I've worked as a nurse in a pregnancy resource center in Harrisburg. My wife, Rebecca, and I have been married for 3 years, and we have a 2-year-old son named Joseph. We've really benefited from the spirituality of the Focolare in our marriage, and I try to apply it in my work as well.
Thanks for telling us a little bit about you, Steve. Well, the mic is yours now, so go ahead.
So we try to accompany women and their families during expected or unexpected pregnancies, and whether they're considering abortion or not, we try to help them see their way to a life-giving decision and try and support them in that. When we talked about this month's Word of Life, a couple of different things came to mind. So in my work there, one of my favorite parts of this job is I speak with fathers when they come in with our pregnancy clients. So we had a practice of bringing the mothers back for their initial intake appointments, and then the fathers would kind of be left out in the waiting room. And when I was hired on, my director said, "Well, now that we have you here as a man, we really want to have someone that can meet with these dads and, kind of meet them where they're at and give them some support." Where I see it tying into this month's Word of Life is, I think for a lot of these men, so when I bring them back, we will have a conversation. Where are you at with this pregnancy, and what kind of resources or support do you have right now? And then I'll get to talking to them about, what was your experience? Have you ever thought about being a father? What was your experience of being fathered, if at all? Did you have a father present in your life? So we'll talk deeply about that. And I think for many of them, they don't have the opportunity often to express themselves in that way. And so that's where I've felt this unity with them, and trying to really meet them in this experience, and to try and give them encouragement, and to try and help them frame their life in a way that really helps them have hope for what they could build as a family with this partner and this new pregnancy.
What you're doing is so important, Steve. Can you tell our listeners an experience or a story that happened to you at your work?
One that we had a couple months ago that was really impactful for me. We had a couple come in, and many of the couples that we serve are very young, and they might not necessarily be together. So, each person requires a different kind of support. But this couple that I'm thinking of was together, and they were, well established with their work. And I think they were in their late 40s, whereas most of the people we serve are college age or younger. And they were interesting and a little different because I think the woman did not have any children, and the man had two grown sons that were, I think they had just turned 18 and 16. He was strongly considering ending the pregnancy, and she was really wishing that he would be more supportive and would see how much of a gift it was to them, and that, be able to continue. So I got an opportunity to sit down with him and talk about his feelings on the situation. And, he expressed to me that he was just feeling overwhelmed, right? That he had worked so hard, and that he had taken care of his sons and raised them. What struck me was he talked about how proud he was of having taken responsibility for raising his sons, and how proud he was of seeing the young men that they were becoming. So that's what I kind of talked to him about. I said, well, you have a responsibility here too. And there's this new life that you guys have created, and you guys are in love, and you want to continue this relationship. And I encouraged him to take this same responsibility with this new pregnancy, to really offer his girlfriend the support that she was really hoping for. And so then they, after a number of visits with us, did decide to continue the pregnancy. And he just totally turned around. He was so excited. And he really saw this pregnancy as a gift, and was excited to see how they could work together to move forward and build this new family.
Thank you, Steve, for gifting us with your experience. I wish you well as you continue this very important work.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening.
Hi, Claire. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm so happy that you've agreed to come on our podcast today.
Yeah.
Claire, I know you're 10 years old, but can you tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah. I have one brother and I have one sister. I have 4 pets. 2 are dogs and 2 are cats. My favorite color is green. I do swim team. I live in Evans, Georgia.
Thank you, Claire. I remember when I came to visit you recently, we had a picnic, and I remember we were sitting at the table. Do you remember that?
We were all just sitting down at the table, and we had little notes, and they had little prayers inside by saints and stuff. And so each one of us read one of the cards. And when it came my turn, it was about how I had to love someone a lot and stuff. And when you heard that, you wanted me to share an experience sometime, because you asked me, when did you really have to love someone? And I said, my dad's surgery. And so you wanted me to do an experience on your podcast. So here we are.
Yes, that's right, Claire. You shared how you, your mom, and your siblings took good care of your dad, who had a very serious heart surgery. And we thank God that he's better now. I know you also have another experience that you'd like to share with us.
I have one. It was about school, because last year I came to a new school, and it was really hard for me to make friends. But then this girl, we became really good friends, but then I really had to love her, because then she just started to get on my nerves, and she started to really boss me around and stuff. But I really had to love that person, so we went to the guidance counselor, and I think that helped a lot.
I'm so happy for that, Claire, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And now we have with us Chiara Lang from Houston, Texas. Chiara, welcome. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself before you share your experience?
Hi, I'm Chiara Lang, originally from Houston, Texas, but I am calling right now from Italy. I'm visiting family, so it's really nice to be able to connect with Nick and share today.
Great, so the mic is all yours now.
Thank you. I work at a private clinic close to home that does ABA therapy for autistic children. It was quite difficult when I first started because the director of the company was not there. So I started off my first 2 weeks without ever meeting the director. When the director finally arrived, she was a person who had quite a difficult personality. Communication was not there as a boss. There was a lot of components that were needed for the company that were lacking. But I tried my best to really see Jesus in her and really love her. And eventually, over those months, I was able to create a really great relationship with her as well as my coworkers. Fast forward a few months, actually to last month, the owner of the company and a few people in a higher position came over and out of nowhere fired the director. That really created lots of tension in the company. So it was really challenging for all of us, but we made it through the day. We just really said, okay, we need to try our best, be there for the kids. The next day comes and one of my coworkers writes in the company group chat, "I quit," and deletes her account. So let me tell you, it was very, very difficult. Lots of patience was needed. And then among all this, we get new employees. So we're having to train them. And they come to me and they end up offering me a position higher in the company, giving me a promotion, which was really exciting. It was very unexpected. So immediately I say yes and give it my all and really try to help the company. Slowly, as the days go by, I feel that there's more peace in the company, more of this unity and like really working together to create a better environment, not only for the kids, but also us as employees. And actually, when I was training one of the new employees, she came to me and was like, "I really like this company. Everyone is so nice," which was so special because we were working so hard to create this unity and this love and really this community within our company and really working together to work through those difficulties. So yeah, it was a very strong experience. It was very difficult in the beginning, but eventually together we worked through it and the kids were happy, employees were happy, so it was really great.
Thank you, Chiara, for sharing that lovely experience. I wish you well as you continue to be a witness of love in your workplace.
Thank you so much for having me.
So thank you for joining us today. I hope you have been inspired by the wonderful stories shared. I look forward to being with you again next month. I'd like to thank Tom Rowley, who has helped me produce this podcast, and for his introduction. To listen to a reflection and commentary on the Word of Life, just go to the previous episode of this podcast. I invite you to join me each month for new episodes. You can also read additional experiences in Living City magazine. Please consider making a donation to Focolare Media so that we can continue producing inspiring podcasts. Visit give.focolare.us. That's give.focolare.us. And look for the Focolare Media tab. Thank you in advance for your support. Bye for now, and God bless.
The Word of Life is translated into approximately 90 different languages and dialects, reaching millions worldwide through print, radio, TV, and other media. There are special versions for children and teens as well, which you can find at livingcitymagazine.com. This podcast has been brought to you by Focolare Media.